Welcome to the very first episode of the North Coast Coffee Club podcast. Wow, I am so excited. This is brewed in Ballito and built for the North Coast. I am your host, Bev Mileham, and welcome to the most inspiring, innovative, exciting, and community-driven podcast on the North Coast of KZN. Right, so with me in the studio today, we have Mel Manson. But before I get to that, I just want to tell you, for those of you that are watching, obviously for the very first time, it is our first podcast, that this is an extension of the North Coast Coffee Club. And many of you will be very familiar with the North Coast Coffee Club because it's been running for a number of years. And we've grown that community from about 12 people to over 600 now. And many people would say to me, Bev, do you have a recording of the speaker? Or I missed the coffee club and I would love to have experienced the speaker. So that's why we've decided to make this podcast so that there will be recordings and that you are going to be able to look at it over and over and over again. And we are so fortunate to have the studio right in the middle of Ballito, Make a Scene Studio by Wayne Johnston. And here we are with our very first podcast. So with me in the studio today, I have Mel Manson. Welcome, Mel.
Thank you, Bev. It's so lovely of you to have me. I'm very honored that I'm the first guest.
You are. And it's actually perfect because you've been a great member of the Coffee Club for a number of years now. So It's wonderful to have you here in the studio. And as an entrepreneur, I mean, I have admired you so much and I have loads of questions to ask you. This is a great opportunity for me to be picking your brain and we can all learn from you as a successful entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So we want to learn from you about how you built a successful business here on the North Coast of KZN.
Perfect.
Right, fantastic. You've definitely one of those people that have built your business from the ground up with tenacity, persistence, and I've always seen you as an incredibly intelligent person, actually.
Thank you.
I remember you telling me once that you read a book a day for a year, which just blew my mind. So there you go.
Yes, that was, I did. That was one of my New Year's resolutions. I love New Year's resolutions. I love them. The first of of January, making that resolution, it excites me. I know it's not for everybody, but for me, it really excites me. So yeah, that was my resolution.
And you saw it through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is unbelievable. Okay, that's a podcast for another day. How do you read 365 books in 1 year? But as you are today, Mel, people see you as a successful entrepreneur and the businesses that you have built. But just share with us the road that you took to get there.
So it was a pretty traditional road initially. It was corporate and going through the slog of corporate, getting caught up in that sort of rat race of promotions and doing exactly the right thing all the time, as stipulated in those corporate rules and bylaws and that sort of thing. And eventually, once I matured, I realized that it's not always the right way.
Yes.
The red tape doesn't always need to be there.
Yes.
And that sort of pushed me onto my own path, which was quite untraditional in the way I did it. I just resigned and started my first company.
So you took the risk.
I took the risk.
Huge risk.
But it also forced me to make it work.
Yes.
I didn't have another option. There was nothing else. It was that business. I have a gorgeous daughter that I needed to feed and school and clothes and all of that. So it left me no options.
Wow.
I had to make it work. Yeah.
Wow. And I mean, in the businesses that you've built, I mean, from the ground up, what year was that when you started your first business?
That was in I'm going to give my age away here, 2008.
2008, it's a long time ago, yeah. Oh, don't worry. You're definitely younger than me, so that's absolutely fine. Okay, and the businesses that you have built, and I know I know of a few of them, but they've been across different industries, which, you've obviously got the absolute natural skill of being an entrepreneur, and across different industries. And what would you say makes somebody a successful entrepreneur?
Resilience. Resilience is number one, right? I've figured out I love a startup. Yeah. I love a startup. Not many people do. The uncertainty people don't like, but I've done it a few times now, so I know what's required. I know the process, and everyone is different and comes with their own challenges. But if you do the process correctly, you will start a business and you will start it as successfully as it's going to be in that market. But resilient. Every single day, something happens and it will knock you off your track and you'll have to get back up again. The quicker you can get back up, the quicker you can move on.
And I know you've got buckets and buckets of resilience and tenacity and persistence.
Some days you think, I've got enough character now, thank you.
Not giving up, hey?
Yeah, not giving up. That's the main. That's the main trait, because success doesn't come in day one, week one, month one, year one. It takes time. It does take time.
And I know that you've got so much experience, as you say, since 2008. Do you mentor younger entrepreneurs? What tips can you give? Somebody that's being brave now and starting off, for the first time.
Okay, so for younger entrepreneurs, I do mentor quite a few younger entrepreneurs, and it's actually morphed into mentoring older entrepreneurs as well. My oldest entrepreneur, we know her, is in her 80s.
That's unbelievable.
So that's really exciting for me because it brings a whole new dimension to what I do. But for my younger people, I make sure that they have not only a love for what they want to do, but they're good at what they want to do. It's very easy. I hear people say you need passion for what you want to do. And passion doesn't always pay the bills, right? You need to be good at what you do.
Yes. I think you need both.
If you love what you're doing, and you're good at it, if you're good at it, you automatically seem to like it. And if you're better than a lot of the other businesses at it, you like it a bit more. So you really need to be good at what you want to do, and you need to love it. And so there's a couple of things that I tell all of my youngsters that I mentor. Number one is make the sales process as easy as possible.
Make the sales process as easy as possible.
As easy as you can. We were just discussing this week. I booked an appointment at a business here in Ballito, and time is a premium for me. And they don't know that. But they changed my appointment after I had changed flights, changed appointments, done all sorts of things to make sure I could make that appointment. I didn't complain. I didn't argue with them. I just said thanks so much and moved on to the next company.
You're a walker and not a talker, absolutely.
So life's too short to complain and argue with somebody about a time slot. If you can't make it, you can't make it.
And you've got other people to choose from.
So I chose the next business, and they did exactly the same thing to me.
No way.
So I then chose the third business on referral from a local woman who lives here and has used this type of business before. And that business did the same thing to me.
Oh my gosh, no man.
So for me, it's that is a critical thing for me. My time needs to be respected, and I'm happy to make my time suit theirs, but once I've committed to it, I've moved flights, I've moved other appointments, I've moved people into different slots so that I could do that. So that for me was very important. But if you can make that sales process seamless, that will go a long way to securing you that business that comes around.
And that's what they obviously were not doing. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So that's number one. Number two is I would advise young entrepreneurs, check your money every single morning. check your money.
Brilliant advice. Brilliant advice.
Go on and check your books. Make sure every invoice is sent out.
Yes.
Make sure you follow up with the invoices that are out. Make sure you know how much money you've got for the day, for the week, for the month. Make sure you know how much you can spend.
Become obsessed with your bottom line.
Become obsessed with that bottom line.
The cash flow.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, cash flow is really, really king. It's really important. And I find a lot of youngsters don't know about books and accounting, so they think it's not their problem. Every business owner needs to become obsessed with their money every morning.
100%.
Yeah. And tip number 3, sales. Sales. You don't have a business if you can't sell. Whether you're selling yourself, whether you're selling your product, whether you're selling a brand, whatever it is, sales are critical. The most important way, obviously now I've morphed into a lot of marketing. So for me, everybody buys their customers.
Yes.
No matter what you think you do, everybody buys their customers, whether you do it with money or whether you do it with time. When you're young and you are starting out, you've got a lot of time, so you advertise on Facebook, on Instagram, on platforms like ours, wherever the case is.
Repetition, right?
Absolutely. And you need to be seen in different places. So being seen on Facebook with your same advert is death to that business,
Yes.
So you need to be seen in different places.
Yes.
As soon as you start making some money, I would say invest that money in some sort of marketing. For a town like Ballito, our newspapers are great.
Yes.
They are great, and they are always looking for an interesting story. The North Coast Courier is fantastic. Really fantastic.
Yeah.
Excuse me, we don't really have the billboards anymore, and they were pretty expensive when we had them. So that may not be an option for everybody, but all different platforms of social media, Google ads, all that sort of thing, you really need to be seen on that. You really do need to be.
Absolutely. No, those are 3 great tips. Thank you very much, Mel.
I could go on for a while.
So, we've only got limited time though, right? So I want to just also wind back and say, through all these businesses that you've developed and grown and so on, what would you say was the biggest challenge for you?
So that's a tricky one, because we've had a number of different businesses, but managing staff for me was my biggest challenge. I had to learn how to deal with people. I understood marketing, I understood sales, I understood advertising, I understood product, I understood stock, I understood all of that, but staff, that's a whole other animal, And
you need good motivated people. You have to have a team to be able to be scalable.
It's absolutely critical. So that for me personally was the biggest challenge. Being able to keep the business functioning while being while knowing what's going on with the staff, while being sympathetic to certain things, not being overly sympathetic where your business grinds to a halt.
Yes.
So there's that very delicate balance of how to manage that staff body.
Yeah.
For me, that has been my biggest challenge. Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate you sharing that with me, because for me, you are the visionary. You are the strategic person, the leader that looks forward. And then also to be able to, at the same time, be able to manage a team and motivate a team. It's 2 very, very different skills.
Very different.
I know.
Yes,
I've been
very different
in business myself.
I've got a personality where I focus really well.
Yes.
So in the work, and I'm focused, and I'm doing what needs to be done, and I'm doing the strategies and all the rest, and I don't notice that somebody's upset, and I don't notice they've had a bad day at home, or they've the car's broken down or whatever. I'm focused on what I'm doing, So it's taken a while for me to learn how to become a little bit more sensitive to what's happening.
Yes, to your team.
Yeah, it's critical.
Now, I remember very clearly when we launched the Ballito official app.
Yes.
And that really was something that brought the local community and businesses together and was a voice for businesses and helped us as a community find those businesses. It was absolutely incredible. What problem were you trying to solve that made you start the Ballito official app?
So I'm going to go a little bit deeper here. I grew up in an environment that wasn't really safe. So I became hypervigilant. I watched everything, everybody. I knew from an expression or a tone whether it was going to be a good or a bad day.
Wow.
So that... Now, I think of it as a good thing. It's helped me in my business. I can read a room better than most people, and I've grown and I've healed from a lot of that. But what it also did was it separated me from everybody. And when I got to Ballito is the kind of community that automatically includes you, whether you want to be included or not. It automatically includes you. And it gave me a safe space, to be honest with you. Ballito, the community here, gave me the space to do something that I've always wanted to do. And I wanted to create a sense of belonging to a town and to be able to connect people and businesses. And that was the most direct route for me to do that. So that's I wanted connection.
Yes, but you also saw a need that we didn't have something like that, right? And
so we've got a lot of social media, Bev, but in order to find a specific special that I'm running, it's so hit and miss on social media. Whereas here, everything is in one place.
Yes.
We've got, the community has come through for us. We've got, at the moment, 28,000 users on our app.
That's amazing.
It's incredible.
In such a short space of time
It's incredible, yeah.
Another success of yours.
So for me, putting everything in one space, it's in the user's pocket. If they need a plumber, they pull out their phone.
Fantastic.
If they need to know who makes the best G&Ts, they pull out their phone.
And it's so easy to navigate your way around it as well, which is what I really, really like.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic.
We've made it very easy, very quick, very sort of clean. Yeah.
It's really lovely. And something that I've always been inspired by you, from you, is that you have what I call the magic of thinking big. Okay, you're not going to settle just on that. You're going to think bigger and better and so on. So tell us about the next step, your Echo.
So the next step is so exciting for me. We have built a new app that's called Echo Collective. And Echo Collective is... it's Ballito official on steroids, right? And we're launching it nationally. Yeah. Wow. So each little town in South Africa, hopefully, I will get to each little town and they will each have their own little Echo app.
Incredible.
And we've added a lot more stuff for our businesses that are on and for the users. Yeah. So we're going to connect them even more. Yeah. So that's pretty soon. That's in about 2 weeks we launch that.
So you've taken what you've learned from the Ballito, and I think that is a story of a successful entrepreneur in itself. Learning from each business and then taking what the lessons that you've learned from that into the next one.
So it's really easy in Ballito because our businesses tell us what they want.
Yeah.
And they make sure we know. And that's community, right? So we get told, Mel, I would like to send a message out on your app to all of the people on the app.
Amazing.
And how do we do that? On the current app, we can't do it. On the new app, we can do it every day, if you like. We can do it. We can let guys know in an hour, you've got the kids' race down at the school is starting in an hour, make your way down there.
So you can put alerts out.
So we can send alerts. Right. We can really communicate backwards and forwards with our users for our businesses.
Amazing. Yeah. And you said this is going to launch in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Wow, Mel.
Yes.
And you've still got the time to come and sit here and talk to us. This is amazing.
Always. For the North Coast Coffee Club, always.
Also, it's part of your marketing marketing and your sales, right?
Literally, the coffee club has grown my business, Bev.
That's
like
fantastic.
I'm sure it has for everybody.
That's so brilliant.
It's the core of Ballito, you know?
is.
So, no, absolutely. The coffee club needs me. I'm there like that.
That's why we love you so much. We really do. Mel, first of all, you're an absolute superstar. And thank you so much for being here in the studio with us today. And I know that so many people are going to learn so much from you. And
Thank you, Bev.
For everyone watching and listening, where can our community find you and connect with you?
Social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is new to me, but I'm on TikTok, yes. And they can find us under Ballito Official, and they can find us under Echo Collective.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to look out for you there as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here. And then follow us. You know, this is our first episode. We're going to be out there. We're going to be posting this. Follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, and please subscribe to us on Facebook. And this is just the start of big things to come. Thank you very much. And stay connected, keep growing, and keep showing up. From Bev Mileham and the North Coast Coffee Club podcast, brewed in Ballito and built for the North Coast.